Hey Scrappy friends, it's Audrey. Welcome to day number 7 of 'Tis the Season, 12 Days of Holiday Scrapping videos. Be sure to check out the other scrappers joining in on this series, including Virginia and Lori, who are doing all 12 days with me, and other special guests along the way. So I'm using a cut file today from Paige Evans, and I got it from the Silhouette Design Store, and it is a super cute little hot cocoa mug. And I have two photos that are 3 by, what are they? 3 by 4-ish. And I have pulled out this paper pack that I purchased at, like, I don't know, I think probably Michael's. And it was on clearance. I got it last year. I don't know why in the world I bought this. I have a bajillion pieces of paper. Not to mention there are like 2 of every pattern in here, maybe 3. I will never ever use this all, but I was going through my stash and I found it. I'm like, yeah, let me use it. So I went through, found a couple background papers. I wanted to find things that were really chocolatey, like I don't know, reminded me of hot chocolate. So I thought, like, okay, the mint and the I was thinking like mint chocolate, and then of course like the peppermint. So I wanted the red and white stripe. And then you saw my cutting mat. Just spit out my cut files there. So I backed my photos with some striped candy cane paper. I'm going to use that mint piece as my background paper, and I'm going to start backing these cut files. So you saw me, by the way, mirror one of the files so that the candy canes were going opposite directions, and the handles were pointing out, one to the left and one to the right, respectively. So I am not going to show you that whole process. I backed the whole thing. I use cardstock, and I use some of the pattern papers from this paper pack, and I use some craft paper for the gingerbread. But yeah, it actually didn't take me that long. I did trace some of the shapes, and others I just cut out. You can see the one I'm working on. Actually, there's one on the left and one on the right, and there they are. While I was working on those, I decided I should paint my background with some gesso because I knew I was going to do some mixed media. So I did that, and I'm going to let that dry off to the top while I finish up these little adorable mugs. And I'm using some Nuvo drops I wanted to add some pink because I was going to have some pink in the background, and then I just put the little black buttons on the little gingerbread man. So yeah, I love how these came out. I'm glad I chose the navy for the cups. And it's hard to tell, but I did put like brown in there for the hot chocolate, but you can't even really see it that much. Once my gesso dried, I went through with some Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Seafoam and some shimmers in Hint of Mint, which is one of my favorites. And I'm just going to kind of blend this in a little bit. And I was trying to match the background color a little, but also add a little bit more. I kind of wanted to stick with the mint, the greenish mint theme, so I'm just going to go over more with that. I like how it softens up the background and then leaves the pattern kind of on the edges, kind of like a vignette. And look at how those spots dry. I love that. How those spots, when you put it over the color shine, how they dry. Okay, so I am using this Dazzlers, and it's a coral color, but I want it to be a little bit more pink to kind of match the pink on my mugs. And so I sprayed a little bit of ruby color, I think it's a colorings in there. And I am going to spread that with my palette knife through this stencil, which I love this stencil. It's so pretty. And I really love how this comes out. I was really nervous because when I added the spray in with the Dazzlers, it was a little thin, and I was afraid that it would kind of spread out underneath the stencil, especially because there's a lot of tiny holes in this stencil that are close together, but it came out perfectly. However, I realized I had the stencil upside down. I didn't realize there was an orientation to this stencil until I looked closely. These are actually little tiny hearts that make up this design, and the hearts are upside down. So I just flipped my paper upside down here after it dries. Okay, so I love how that looks. I think I had already turned the paper upside down, maybe not. I went back with a few white splatters, which I've been doing on a lot of my pages for the background. Okay, voila, it's done. Now I'm going to start distressing the edges of my photos. And really the time-consuming part of this page was backing those cut files. That did take a little bit of time. Look how cute those are. Adorable. Look how cute the photos are too. So if you can tell in the photos, I did do some like photo effects, and I did a little like whitish vignette around the photos to kind of give them that oval shape, but I love how that looks. So I went through my stash looking for some stickers for the title. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, but then I found these stickers, and I wanted to see what the white looked like. I was kind of thinking of maybe like a brown to kind of go with the hot chocolate, but I decided on these white with the red stitching, and it does stand out pretty good in the background. And I'm just going to put it right down the middle there, and I'm going to put a heart in it eventually and call it Hot Chocolate Love. And I didn't want to add too many more embellishments because I have a very textured and kind of busy background, and I have these adorable cut files that are really kind of shining here. So I will just add a few peppermint candy stickers and a few other things. I spend quite a while going through my stash. I know I've said this before, but because I have so much Christmas stash, unless I'm using a kit, these pages just take me forever because I'm digging through everything. Or I'll think to myself, I know I saw that Holly Jolly phrase sticker somewhere. Where did I see it? And I have to dig through everything to find exactly what I'm looking for, so it takes me forever. Maybe that's a sign that I should get rid of some stuff. Probably. So I added some enamel dots, and I added a tag with some twine under Kyler's picture up there. And on that tag specifically, I have a little the little mint edge, and that kind of matched the Holly Jolly underneath Charlotte's picture there. And so yeah, I just did those little clusters really, and that's all I did. I'm gonna back the photos and the hot chocolate cups, mugs, with some foam adhesive to kind of pop them up off the page. Both tape and liquid glue. Cute, cute. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention my little trick there with the ruler. Sometimes I just kind of eyeball where I place my title, but because there were a lot of letters here, I stuck them on my ruler first, just on the edge, and that way it helped me position exactly where I want it to be. And I kind of like this with the heart right in the middle of that O, and it's kind of right in the middle of the page, so that lines up nicely. I'm just using teeny tiny scraps of my foam adhesive here to put on my smaller bits of my cut file. Alright, so I just got to glue those stickers down. Before I do that, I did stitch with a zigzag stitch with some red thread. And once I have that one letter positioned there, the center letter, it's very easy to go through and add the other letters. I really don't add too much more to here, if anything. I just add my journaling. I didn't even put a date stamp on this one because I had one of the little brads said 25 on it, so I figured, I'll remember it was Christmas Day. I'm sure the kids will too. But yeah, I just really wanted those cut files to shine, and I think that they do. And I think that does it. And there is the final page. You can see those Nouveau drops cracked in the middle again. That's what happened on one of my previous pages, my Santa page. So I've got to learn my lesson not to add that so thick. I guess you can only do teeny tiny bits with that. But lots of fun texture, lots of cute little bits, and of course, adorable cut file. So thank you so much for stopping by again today. Go check out all the other ladies' pages. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Stay scrappy, friends, and happy holidays.